Hey Whales, so this is part two. My video got cut off on the last one. So like I was saying, for the take profit percentage, you can actually change this to whatever you fit works, right? So 30%, 10%, but I like it to keep it at 20%. And remember, this is only for backtesting purposes only. So if you go to the strategy tester, you can actually test out the different strategies here. You can change the date to the last 30 days, last 90 days, because you have access to the strategy, you're able to backtest here, right? So for instance, I'm on Microsoft. I'm going to change the settings to, let's say I want to take only 10% at each take profit and let everything else run pretty well. So if I do 10%, you can see that the reports change automatically. You can take a look at the risk performance as well. So great, Sortino's ratio and Sharpe ratio. You want this, anything above 1 or anything in positive is very good, right? So these are sort of the ideas that you can do, and you can back test it. Typically 5 years worth of data is good, so you can do custom range, so 2022, right? So everything here for back testing purposes can help you really, develop your strategy. Now, as you can see, another nuance is that for the total P&L, 83% over the last 5 years. Now, this is correct in a sense, but you just have to remember, if you go to the settings, go to properties, this is on a $50,000 account, 2% equity would net you to 83% over the last 5 years. But you also have to realize that every time it does the order sizing for 2%, it's just taking that 2%. So for instance, if I do 100,000, just to give you an idea. So on a $100,000 account, 2% equity, it'd be 85K. But this doesn't take into account that your initial capital is actually growing. So it's going to be growing like to 200K, 300K. So this would exponentially be more. And then a second thing you have to also remember for the back testing is that it's only taking 2% of your equity. So this is only one position in Microsoft. Theoretically, you'd be in maybe 5 to 10 different positions across different stocks like Nvidia, Palantir, Meta, Google. So that doesn't take into account the total P&L. So you need to multiply that by a factor of how many other positions you might have. So if you have 5 positions, theoretically you can times this by 4 to 6 and get your actual P&L over the last 5 years. So hopefully that makes sense, right? It's only taking the 100K initial capital. It's not dynamic. And then secondly, for backtesting purposes, is only taking Microsoft as your report. It's not factoring in using your entire capital. Okay, so those are some of the things that you can take a look at moving forward. All right, so now everything is set up. You have your alerts for the QuantumWhale. Again, if you want to do it on the watch list, so I'm going to create that alert. I'm going to create the watch list on the stocks for IBKR. I'm going to put the condition as QuantumWhale. I'm going to set this to alerts functions only. You can change the minutes, guys, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you guys want. Again, I like to do 30 minutes as a default so you don't overbuy in downtrends. Okay, for the message, no need again. And then for the notifications, webhook is good to go. So again, you can create the alert. And once you do that, you create the alerts on the watch list. So, but again, the caveat is it does not do extended hours. So that's the only caveat. Another thing that you want to, keep a lookout for is that for the watch list here, all right, I already shared it in the group. So if you need my watch list, I have about 42 tickers here. It's already in the Discord group, guys. You can just go to Discord and look up like watch list, and you'll see my watch list here. Okay, this is the link that you can look at, and once you go to this link, you'll see my watch list here that you can copy and actually import, export list into your own, trading view. So that's the good part. All right, so after you configure everything, guys, after you have all the alerts set up and you're good to go, what happens? Well, If you go back to Traders Post, you're going to go to your broker, right? Let's just use my broker, Interactive Brokers, just as an example. So as you guys can see, in just one day, the buy signals are going to come in like this. Okay, so it's going to basically be in pending trades once it gets filled, because I'm doing limit orders. Once my limit orders get filled, it becomes closed orders, right? Because they get filled, and then it's going to come into the open position. So you'll see all your open positions currently right now. So I have, everything from Walmart, Visa, Intuit, Google, Coinbase, Chewy, Amazon, right? And these are all stocks coming directly and derived directly from my watch list of 42. Okay, so this is basically everything that you see here. Now again, I do recommend that you have max positions of maybe 5 to 10 only, so you don't over risk. It's really up to you. I didn't set that up yet, so you can see it's way more than 10. I think I have like 12 or 14 positions right now. So I should configure it to 10, because if it does downtrend, guys, remember the strategy is going to keep buying longs of 2% equity. So it's going to keep adding on to these positions. So if you're over positioned, if you have more than 10 and it has 3 buy signals, it's going to do quite a bit of buys across that, right? So you're most likely going to be in margin. So you got to be careful here and only do max 5 to 10 positions at a time across only the tickers that you love. All right, so you can back test it. You can do whatever you want to make sure that you get the tickers that you like, rather than random stocks. Because as you guys can see, another nuance that you want to take a look at is that, again, let's say we do have a huge drawdown period of 2022, right? This is where the banking crisis occurred. So if I go to 2022, you can see that for Microsoft, if you did this strategy, you would have ended the year at negative 7.9% with a 15% drawdown, guys. So imagine if you have 5, 10 different positions, you're going to be down maybe 15, 20% of your overall capital. So you got to be very careful about that. Even though in Microsoft 2022 returns, even though if you held, you would have lost negative 27%, right? But if you would have used our strategy, you would have been down negative 7.9% by the end of the year. So remember, during downtrends, you got to just be a little bit careful in not having too many max positions. And as sort of, stocks continue to trend, it's really trending nicely here, right? You can be okay with it. You can do max positions, but if we enter a bear market, you want to lower that down to maybe 5 to 7, if ever, right? Or if you're able to sort of go through that volatility and stomach the volatility, that's fine. You're good to go. Okay, but just be aware of that. So once this happens, right, it all automatically opens and closes your positions. So you really don't need to do anything, guys. You can just monitor it. You're going to get the alerts. So nothing really to do here except just let it ride. You can also look at it from a view. So let's say I'm looking at Chewy. It bought 123 shares of Chewy on the 30-minute time frame. So let's go there and sort of audit it. Okay. So boom, there we go. So it looks like it bought today, right, at these levels here. Yeah, this is where it bought Chewy. Okay, for the algo. So that's sort of an audit that you can do for coin. Let's go to coin. So it bought 13 shares of coin. So yeah, you can see that it bought right here on the algo. So definitely makes sense. And another thing that you can check, right? So it bought 13 shares of coin at 355. So 13 shares times 355 is $4,600 worth of coin shares. And in my account, I have $246, right? So 4615 divided by 246. So yeah, it's taking about 2% equity of my overall account balance. So yeah, the audit works, right? It's taking 2%. So looks great so far. And you should be good to go. Now, there is a second nuance that you got to be careful of, okay? So when it does take profit, sometimes it's going to take a lot more profit than what you've longed. So the reason why is because, remember, Coinbase has been alive for more than 5+ years. So it's the cumulative buy position. So let's say Coinbase has right now, if you take a look, maybe you can see that trade analysis. It has 45 open trades on Coinbase. And this is from the past, guys. Okay, this is from the entire history of Coinbase since 2022. Or actually, let's reset to 135 6 days. So it has 20 open trades on Coinbase right now. So when it does do the take profits, the partial, it's going to take partial from the open positions of 20 instead of what you just did at 9. I only longed 8 shares. I only longed 8 shares of Coinbase. So on the next take profit, it's going to probably take, and close you out fully because it has already 20 open positions. So hopefully that makes sense, guys, right? So you'll only be able to restart and everything after 5 take profits, right? Because it's 20% each. So 20%, 20%, 20%. So if you have 5 take profits in a row, that'll fully liquidate your position. So you're fully out. And the next one will be the start of your new sort of cycle. So right now it's still within the same cycle because there's no 5 take profits. So just the nuance there that you need to be aware of. So again, let me try to say it in layman terms. So throughout the cumulative history of Coinbase, right, it currently has right now 20 open trades on Coinbase. So on the next take profit, instead of only taking 20% of this 8 shares that you did, right? So it'll take profit of maybe 2 shares theoretically. It won't do that because cumulatively throughout the history, since whatever date you do here, it still has 20 shares of Coinbase open. Okay, so it's going to take the 20 and do the take partial on the 20 rather than to take partial on the 8 shares that you longed. And this will only reset after you fully get liquidated from this position at 5 take partial profits in a row. So hopefully that makes sense. So those are sort of the main nuances to keep a lookout for in the future. But everything looks good, right? Subscription strategies, webhooks, and just to make sure, again, to create the alert, you can do individual to make sure that you have extended. If you don't care too much and you just want to get it done with and only trade during the day, you can do all of it on the watch list. QuantumWhale, alert function settings only, 30 minutes. That's all you need to do. Message, no need to change anything. And the notifications, put in the webhook from your subscriptions. So edit here on your subscriptions, webhook, copy, and paste that in, and boom, there you go. All right, you should be good to go. Once created, this is sort of how the alerts are going to look like. If you go to the log, this is what it's going to look like here, like this. Okay, so it's going to say ticker, archer, action, etc., etc., etc. All right, so hopefully that works, guys, and you should be good to go. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your algorithmic trading sessions. See ya.